that's what every businessman or business person needs to do. Like, go for it. Like all those people that talk about this, well, I want to do this. My first thing is like, what the fuck are you waiting for?
That's what we want to do here. We want to take you to the next level. We want you to achieve your goals.
I don't know. You know, I look at everything like I'm doing something wrong. And it's...
Soundboard, Angie, recording?
Yep.
Thank you.
You're not doing, what do you mean you're doing something wrong?
Well, I don't know that you know, I'm a take charge, obviously. I'm a very take charge, go get it, don't fuck around guy. But so maybe I don't give like really good support at times that I need to. Maybe I don't give, I don't know. I'm looking at it for me like what do I gotta do different? Like,
I think like, well, first we should like welcome everybody.
Yeah, let's have a little
We're getting into it already. You know, hey man, you know what's up? It's what? It's Tuesday. It's Tuesday, 1:30. That means we're on Freight Talk right here live on Instagram, Facebook, and we actually have TikTok live this week.
I'm on TikTok?
Yeah,
This is
man.
my first time with
There
this
you go,
TikTok
man.
app.
TikTok's right here.
Let me tell everybody, there's 27 cameras in here right now, and it's the coolest thing I've ever seen. I should take a pic. Can I take a video
Go
of this
for it,
video on
man.
my
Go
leg?
for it. Do it.
All right, go ahead,
Do
go
it,
ahead.
man.
Do what you gotta do.
But we got thanks to our TikTok followers out there. This is our first live on TikTok. They decided to follow us and comment and do whatever they do on TikTok. Got us past the threshold so that we're allowed to do lives on TikTok, which is awesome. So thank you to all the love out there. Thank you to Whitley for making it happen and making videos and
Having
the
fun.
team, you know, all the good things. So welcome all of you out there. They ask some really interesting
It's that one.
questions on TikTok.
Yeah.
It's this one.
Yeah.
All right.
They ask a lot of interesting questions on TikTok.
Yeah.
Do they?
They're just asking all kinds of. They said one guy, the best comment was, "Does this guy go to the gym or does he only go to the buffet?" And I was like, "Bitch, I go to the buffet."
Anybody ask
and I
me
get
anything like that, I will find you. We'll talk about it face to face, right?
I was like, bro, I go to the buffet and I deadlift. I was like,
You
it's
can
all
do
Get
both.
you a man that can do both.
This is all
That's it.
muscle, babe. This is all muscle.
That's it.
This is all muscle.
Yeah,
So,
the questions are funny that they ask.
shout out to Babylon CrossFit.
Yeah.
Bingo bango. Love them, Trish. Doing your thing. Love you out there in Long Island.
And we're here with Kevin Kolb, and he is
Cobb.
Cobb. Kolb. Colby.
Corn on the cob.
Corn, that's right. It's closer to that.
I'm wearing his racing shirt.
Sick Recovery Racing.
I'm still waiting for a shirt. by the way.
Whitley, take a little smidge this way.
You know, I
get closer to you.
I definitely
Sweet.
forgot
You
about
got
that again today with the shirt business. I'm gonna bring it this week.
I
though.
even texted you.
Did you? You told me
It's
to
all
bring a
about
shirt.
self-branding.
Bring
It's
it
all
on.
about
I should have just
branding.
brought him in here and like, here, we're giving these away. Why didn't I do
I
that?
don't know.
Can I come on again?
There's always
Can I come
one in
again?
your
You can
truck.
come with as much as you want.
All right, so I need to come back and bring shirts.
You could have
and
been
I'll
you could have been Kevin Winfrey. You get a shirt. You get a shirt. You get a shirt.
Everybody
just- That's it. That's it.
better than a fucking car.
Okay, okay.
So why don't you go ahead and kind of introduce yourself, what you're about. I want to kind of mainly stick to the school, how you evolved from the racing team to where you are now,
Okay.
and just a backstory for everybody.
So, my name's Kevin Kolb, but I go by Tattoo Preacher, right? Am I allowed to talk about that stuff?
Yeah, dude. This
Talk
is
about
just an
everything,
open
get
forum.
real.
Yeah.
Different forums in here.
No,
you know what I mean?
Get real.
Yeah.
No like censoring, no nothing.
Okay, so yeah, gosh, 2015, I decided to stop living my life for money and for me, and to just jump into a purpose. I was just this angry dude, clean and sober, quite a while, you know. Got clean and sober in 2007, but I was missing a big piece of my life. I figured out today that that big piece for me was God. But you know, I just did things my way. I ran through everything, just angry, talking one way and being another. You know what I'm saying? Like trying to lead people, and it just didn't work with me. You know, I was a big hypocrite for sure. So I started this mission called Sick Recovery. I went on the road with my wife. My wife jumped in an RV with me with a 1-week-old baby, and we took 2 dudes on the road. One guy, Nico Izzy, ex-pro motocrosser, and Justin Cooper, who's a pro now. killing it. And I thought we were gonna do this 1 year of, you know, shooting film and doing a documentary about Nico's life. He had this amazing contract at like 17 with Suzuki. And just went following the motocross circuit, you know, the amateur races, pro races. And all of a sudden it turned into like parents coming up to me saying, hey, my kid struggles with drug addiction. My kid struggles with opioids from racing. My kid is now on heroin because he was on pain pills from breaking his femur, and he's 14 and doesn't come back to ride. Anyway, like, I just got inundated. Like, the mission went from nothing to like this following instantly. You know, people watching us everywhere we went, and I was like the first one to do it in motocross, so there was nothing else for people. So like, people would literally see us in our RV and trailer, and they were like, "Can he come with you?" And we would do that, like take kids on the road with us, and man, it was wild. We spent 2.5 years in an RV straight. My wife, she's a beast, by the way.
She's a saint.
She's unreal. Yeah, with an infant. We traveled the country, all over the place. We tried to like settle in certain areas. I felt like a pilgrim or something, you know what I mean? I'd settle in this area, and then I'd move, and then I'd go here. But man, it was all for a purpose to end up where we are, and then comes Soul, and I noticed, you know, I'm 3.5 years into the program. The program's not free; it's private pay, right? But half of the guys in the program are here for free because I don't say no. Like you and I have that in common. Like, somebody call, I'm struggling, I'm gonna die, can you help me? I'm like, come on, you know, like, get in.
Right on.
And my wife's like, yo, like, we don't have any money to pay these guys food and shit. So, I the big thing was I lost a kid. You know, I was on the phone with him for 2 weeks, and he couldn't come up with money. And at the time, we had more guys not paying than paying in the program. And his name was Kolb, and he was a cool kid. And you know, I got a call from his mom on a Friday night that he had passed, that he didn't make it here because he couldn't come up with the money, and it wrecked me, like completely wrecked me. It it makes me, like, every time I talk about it, I get weird.
Right.
And I didn't own it or anything. I was just like, fuck. Like, I'm sorry. Can I do this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought, like, you know, I could have made a difference. So I told my wife, we're revamping the program. It's got to be free. It's got to be longer because these guys are leaving and they don't have a skill. So I tied this whole thing to a free program with a trade, and we changed our entire mission in our company. And you know, we changed the name. We didn't change the name. We just got another name, a DBA called Soul Constructors, and Soul stands for School of Universal Living.
Oh wow.
And we just teach people how to live. We are literally a trade school, vocational school that we still ride, and we still have the motocross thing, but that's on the weekends. It's not just all about fun. And it's just been amazing. Like, I don't have to. So Soul is the construction company that did work here, by the way. Freddie was one of our very first customers.
Right
Thank
on.
you, Freddie.
Yeah,
And you know, we go get work. We have guys that are here in the program now over 2 years that are really good at the trades, and they keep growing. And there's 15 guys in the program, and we're a full-on construction company. And that pays for people. Their work is what pays their way, and it works. So we can help anybody from straight up. I've offered the guys under the bridge here a place to stay, you know, that are homeless. So we can help homeless people, to people that are in prison, which we have about half the guys that are here and that are from jail, that are serving their time with us, or somebody that's just straight calls and says, you know, I'm lost and I'm struggling with meth, like, I can't get off it, help me, you know. So it's just opened up to a lot more ability to, for me, man, it's reaching those that are really far from God. Like, that's my shtick with Tattoo Preacher. Me just going out there and being, I mean, look at me. I kind of look a little homeless today, don't I? With my beard and everything.
I think you look sexy. Smell good.
So I'm trying to connect with those that are really far from God, and I want to stay on their level, you know. So that's why you'll hear the fucks, the shits, and there's nothing, just because I believe in Jesus and I do that certain thing, like, it doesn't change the fact that I need to still connect with those that are.
Right.
I'm no churchy, better than bullshit rules guy, you know. Quite the opposite, you know. So, yeah, the mission turned into something. I turned into something else, and it was all not my doing. It was it was definitely way bigger than me. So it's been wild. We have this school where we teach these guys a trade, and we go to work every day. And these guys are up at 5 o'clock in the morning every day. They work till 3:30, 4 o'clock, and they come home and work at the farm. You know, we have this farm with this farm truck that we're trying to be self-sustaining, and there's just a lot. But like, man, I was trying to think about driving over here what to talk about, and for me, like, we have no drug problem. Like, our problem is running to easy. Like, that's what the real fucking problem is.
Yeah.
The problem isn't with a dude. I've been involved with people that were 14 years old when they got here, and recently a guy that just came into the program is 51 years old, and I see the same fucking problem. Like, somebody has made it easy. Somebody has not allowed them to go through what we went through, to go through the grind and the getting up and the working late and the doing what you don't want to do. And man, that's really what I focus on. That's why we have a farm, because you can't bullshit a farm.
Hell no.
Like,
Right.
those chickens aren't fed, they'll blow the fence down. I'm not kidding you. Like, you got 300 chickens in the area, they're coming through
Oh
the
my
fence.
God.
I'm serious. Like,
numbers.
yes. Like, so, like, there's things you get home. Like, every night you have to do things you don't want to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, weekends you have to do some things you don't want to do.
Mhm.
So we teach that. That's the first part of it, and then while it's happening, we teach them a trade. But then in the last year, maybe under a year, we teach them how to be a leader, and leaders serve. You know, leadership isn't a title; it's a responsibility to serve,
Oh, yeah.
and to care about the people that are around you more than you care about yourself. And so it all ties together, because the people that come in with addiction issues and running from life, they're just so fucking selfish. It's crazy. Like, they can't understand why I would do this, or what the catch is that my life is about this, and like.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That you bring that up. I think that's a big thing. I think I get that astonishment a lot also. Like, why would you do this for free?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, why not?
Yeah.
Like, well, why not? I don't understand why you think there's not people that exist that want to help out the community, want to help out strangers, want to help out anybody they can help out. And I guess that's the mentality that those a lot of these guys have going into your program. So that's an interesting point.
Well, they don't understand. Most people don't understand, like, give. Like, we're takers, man, by nature.
Mhm.
You know?
That's the worst.
Especially in our country, being like me.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
And so much. We have so much that we need to learn from other countries how to really give, and those that
Right.
are really poor, because we have no fucking clue what poor is. None of us in this country.
Yeah.
You know, not even and this is, people are gonna think I'm a dick, but those dudes down under the bridges that I try to help, like, they don't want the help because they're getting things for free. Like, they're getting handed $50 a day to be easy, and they can find whatever they want and do whatever they want through easy.
Right.
Yeah, Freddie and I
Sucks.
were just talking about that, because I was like, my boyfriend and I were watching TikToks about, like, you know, this person somewhere, he owns like a little, like, small little shop, and he was sharing these homeless guys' stories to TikTok, and people now are sending money and sending gifts and sending all this stuff to the guys. And I was like, oh, I would really like to do something with, like, homeless, like, outreach next year. But then when we talked about that, like, I've done homeless outreach before, and yeah, it's like half and half. Like, half the people don't want anything from you; they just want money. Or, like, you know, I was like, I wish that, like, there was, like, resources, like, I don't know, somehow they can get, like, job resumes, or helping them do something like that, where they could actually propel themselves to go maybe get a job or whatever. But yeah, we were talking about that. Like, it's just a lot. Sometimes people don't want that.
Well, it allows them to stay lost. You know,
Mhm.
so there's a big difference between, I tell everybody, the big difference between lost and broken. Broken allows you to be at a place where you want help, and you humble up and you say, help me, reach out, like, tell me what to do. Lost is this spot where you see people until they're 50, 60 years old, and they just stay in this spot of homeless. I mean, I took a guy to breakfast that just had his face beat up from somebody wanting to steal his pillows and his blankets, and I offered him a place to go. And when I told him he couldn't smoke cigarettes, and he couldn't have a cell phone, like, well, I need my cigarettes. And I'm like, you don't have any money for cigarettes.
Right.
Well, yeah, I do, and this is easier. So, and the other part is when you're handing that money, when you're giving somebody like that, most of them have a pretty horrendous addiction. And a lot of it is usually heroin or meth, which is now really fentanyl. So those people that are giving handouts, here's the other. Truth is, when you're handing that money out the window, it's to make you feel good, right? I feel good. But what you're doing to them is possibly killing them with the last bag of dope they're going to buy. So it's really hard for people to understand, like, how are you this guy that wants to give, bless you, give. Well, I want to give opportunity.
Yeah.
Because that's the only way people are going to grow. You keep doing it for them, and you're actually stopping them from growing. You're stopping them from feeling consequences to their actions. So, like, I have this whole warped, tough love.
I don't think that's warped. I think that's what everybody needs, because you know what?
I think that shit's real.
The world's full of participation trophy receivers.
Yeah.
That's the problem, is that there's a lot of that going on. That's why you have a bunch of bullshit happening half the time. You know, whatever happened to structure, and whatever happened to discipline, whatever happened to being responsible, whatever happened to being not in first place. Where the participation thing sounds like you're just being insensitive. It's like, not really, man. You have to learn how to lose.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that nobody's learning how to lose anymore. And when you don't learn how to lose, you think everything's gonna be handed to you, and you expect the world to give you everything. And unfortunately, it's not like that. And just to even get where I'm at today, the amount of shit I had to
How many losses did you go through, though?
Oh, tons.
Yeah.
Tons.
They're valuable.
I tell Angie all that time, is that there's no such thing as failure. It's all about learning, man.
Win or learn, baby.
Yeah, dude.
Win or learn.
And I accept failure now even more than ever, because I learned something from everything I trip up on, everything that's negative, you could say, that happens to you, just makes you so much stronger. But that society as a whole is you bring up a really good point with giving them the money. But I never did that.
Yeah, dude.
I never did it because I know from just being in New York City all those years.
Yeah.
Me and my brother, I remember we were one time in 34th Street, MSG, getting ready to go see a Ranger game, and we're getting ready to, people were giving this guy money, and he was asking my brother. My brother was like, "Nah, I'm not giving you shit." He's like, "But if you want to eat, I'll buy you some food right now." And a couple of times the guys were like, "Yeah, that'd be great." So then we bought them food.
Yeah.
No worries. And then there's times where they're just like,
I don't want your food.
you're insulting them.
Yeah, that's
I wanna give you
manipulation,
food.
man.
It's like, I'm just trying to help you out because I know what you're doing with this cash, bro.
Yeah.
And so, no, I'm with you, but tough love, tough love is hard to swallow.
Yeah.
It's hard for society to swallow that, they don't like it. They don't like tough love anymore. Everybody's got like this just very sensitive agenda, and you can't do that anymore. But, and like, I love everything that you're doing. I love the soul and the constructions and everything. But we could also, again, put this even towards business and marketing, and how, you have to have that same mindset when you're trying to grow your business or be a young entrepreneur, which is a lot of the people that we're talking to nowadays are young entrepreneurs, and you cannot do anything easily. If something's coming to you too easy and you're being handed too many things, that's not going to help you out. You have to do the grind. You have to go through the hell. You have to go through the failures. That's the only way you're going to learn how to become something greater than you ever even imagined being.
But look at what this younger society deals with. Like, it's a Facebook, TikTok, Instagram world where you get to see the reward of somebody's, money is all over the place, and this and that, and it's all, and nothing's shown. Like Whitley knows, it's like my stuff. I want to show what the middle is. Like, I want to talk about how you got that, how you got those rewards, because we're in a society where everything is now, like, from kids that use a phone every day. Like, their reward is now from the phone. The second they're awake, they're getting a dopamine release from the phone. Like, so in business, and our kids, like, throughout, like, addiction, like, these guys that we help, like, they're used to pushing a plunger or snorting a line to get what they want now. Like, and it's the same thing with kids, and business doesn't work that way, man. Like, it's a grind, and that's what the guys that are here for the first 3 months, to anybody that's new in business, we can correlate it. Like, you get new in business and you're like, holy shit, like, I gotta work 18 hours a day every day. And they're like, I don't know if I signed up for this. And then same thing, like, we have guys, we joke with them after, like, their first 3 months, they're like, I just worked a month straight, 40 hours a week, and I'm like,
You want a
who's
biscuit?
fucking raw? Like, you're 35 years old, dude. You should have been doing this for the last 20 years. What are you talking about?
Right.
Last time I worked 40 hours a week, I was 19.
That's it. So like, it ties together, and for me, man, it's all about the fucking truth. And it's not even about tough love. It's about the truth, and it's not just the people that I deal with that don't take that. Society does not like to look at the truth. I like involve people like you in my life, like other people that tell me the truth whether I want to hear it or not. Where most of society is like, you know, the truth. Like, let me just live in my little bullshit world, and just be complacent with where I'm at, and that's not my style, and that's the biggest thing for me as to why I think people call it so tough, because I got called this last week, like, you're a really big truth speaker, aren't you? And I'm like, yeah, like, that's it. Like, and if it hurts you, well, then look inside, because that's what I do. Like we were just talking about, like, there's something I'm doing. We just got to look at the truth, and the truth is the enemy a lot of times to a lot of people. And if you're in business, and if you're trying to market, like, there is nothing that happens. Gary Vee didn't just happen because overnight, like everybody thinks it. Like all these people in marketing and that, like, it's about. I have never seen somebody really make it that I want to be like that hasn't gone through hell to get there. That's it.
I think that's why, though, like, your personality can be refreshing to be around sometimes, because
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes there you see it.
All
sometimes
the time.
It gets a little overwhelming.
because like I think the biggest thing, like, what you try to like instill in me is like same thing as like goals, and our generation doesn't have this vision. Like, we have a vision of like material things, or like, oh, I want to have my own business or things like that, but like you say, and what you instill in the guys is that idea that you have to have not only like daily goals, but you actually have to have steps to get to those goals. And I feel like even for myself, I get to this say, I'm like, yeah, this is what I'm going to do. And then I don't put anything or accountability in place to actually get there, so then it never happens, and then I become like, you know, you got this idea of failure or whatever.
Yeah.
But I feel like a lot of times, because of the very instant gratification, and we see all of the results of someone else's fruit, or like their work on social media,
Yeah.
like, we always just think, oh, this is going to be great. But then, because we don't see the process often, we don't see them actually having to do, like, if they did like a daily vlog, like what their days look like, you know, that's what Gary Vee says. He's like, you know, it's okay if you're not going to own your own company, if you're number two, like, because sometimes, like, when you see what they actually have to do, it's a lot. Like, my boyfriend's understanding that now. Like, he just quit his job, he's doing detailing full time, and for him, he's like, last night we were like playing pool, and he's like, I just can't wait till I don't worry about money. Where I'm like, you know, and I'm thinking, he just started. I love him, but he's
I still
like,
worry about
yeah,
I
like,
know.
so that worry of money, like, you said so many things there that need
Yeah.
addressed, like you said about the failure, and what I hear from every person, you know, I have this goal of trying to meet with X amount of people per week. That's how I met Freddie. Like, I had this goal back before COVID that I'd meet with 5 people a week that I don't know. And I saw Freddie at this what was it called? Networking group. I can't remember. The Pack. Yeah. And I'm like, that guy looks cool, and I had to meet with him. But, like, you know, the thing that most people say from the guys I get to work with, or the people that I get to meet, are scared of failure. There's so many people that are afraid of failing. And you know why? Because they've never had the opportunity to fail. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, failure's an opportunity, and that's why every guy that comes in the program, they're like, I'm just scared to fail. I'm like, you're getting high every day. You haven't talked to your family in a year and a half. What are you talking about, fail? You're there. And take a step. Like, that's what every businessman or business person needs to do. Like, go for it. Like, all those people that talk about this, well, I want to do this, my first thing is, like, what the fuck are you waiting for? If you want to do it, go do it. Like, what better time in the world to go do something than now? So, like, that's something that you and I don't think just really understand. Like, Like, what are you waiting for?
I don't know if it's like the DNA or
Nah.
parents. You know, parents. I think parents have a lot to do about. You know, I know Gary Vee talks about it a lot with the parents and like disappointing your parents. And I was like that for years. I mean, I was like, well, what is my dad gonna think? What is my mom gonna think? More my dad. You know, they're gonna be disappointed. And the first major move I ever did was leave New York. And I went to Florida for a year, and that was like, I knew my parents were pissed. Like they, because they thought I was just abandoning Ange because Ange still lived in New York, and I'm like, that's not the case. I had to get my shit together, and doing it in New York, if you live in New York, it ain't easy, man. I mean, we were literally bringing in over $100K a year, and it was still like check to check.
Yeah.
Living in New York, it's insane. So like,
It's ridiculous.
yeah. So I go to Florida, and doing all those things, but your parents will destroy, like, what you think, you think you should be doing,
Yeah.
and you'll sit there and be like, well, I think I should do this instead. It's like, and you can't do that, so the mindsets, are such an important thing, and that's why I try to instill into Ange as much as I can. And I'm not saying I'm perfect. There's been times I was like, you should be doing blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, nope, you can't really be doing that stuff. You need to let them figure out on their own. That's why when she was like, I'm not going to college, I'm going to go figure out my shit. I was like, good.
Alright.
Fucking do it.
Such a money saver.
Well, so many people don't know. I think there should be rules for college, like because so many people don't know who they are before they go. You know how many friends I had that went to college for 4 years and wasted that time? I mean, don't get me wrong. I think college has its abilities to get away from home and allow you to become a grown up. Like that is huge. But you could do that for a quarter of the price by moving like maybe the next state over and getting a job. But like, like to experience that and to pay all that to not do that trade or that work in that marketplace, like that's rough because people don't know who they are yet. Like, dude, and that's a big deal with college and marriage. So many people get like, I got married, I didn't know who the hell I was, like there's no way I could. I was wasted all the time, like I had no clue.
I'm glad I got married later in life. I mean, I definitely asked another woman to marry me earlier in my life, and thank God I did not do that.
Dude, we're so glad we didn't get all the things we wanted, right?
Yeah.
Like, we really
I mean, tell you, sometimes you think you want
Thank you,
things, man,
Santa,
that
for
could
not
have
showing
been,
up on that one.
that could have been terrible. But it's crazy because I feel like now I am who I'm supposed to be.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be 42 in a few weeks, and I'm like, okay, this is who you're supposed to be, Fred. Just laid back dude, supporting people, helping out your community.
Yeah.
You probably should try to lose weight, but you're gonna work on it. That might be 43. But like I'm pretty like, all right, this is what I'm doing. This is who I am. But I'm gonna be 42. And man, when you're 12, 22, 32, man, when I was 30, I remember I turned 30. I didn't know shit when I turned 30.
But you think you do?
No, I thought, of course, you always think you do. Man, let me tell you something, man. Half you guys don't know anything. You think you know. You don't know anything.
Well, they've done all these things that talk about the stages of life, and before you're 40, you're not like at 40, you start considering end of life. Like, you're halfway through. So like now you're like, that big R word of regret comes into everything. Like, am I going to go through the rest of my life and not do this? And I think that's what played a part in me. I had a construction management company. I had a general contracting company. I was building these gyms all over the country for like 8-9 years. Money was wonderful. I had this new house, new wife, like all these kids. Like, life's great. And I'm like, fuck, like, that wasn't enough. Like, it's not about enough, but like I just wasn't fulfilled. And that was the word for me, like, that I needed fulfillment to change who I was inside. I needed to get outside of me and be fulfilled and really just go for it on my own in something else other than construction. Like, I did that numerous times, and I failed. And that's the big thing. I learned to fail in business in a big way. Maybe that's why. Like,
it's huge.
Well, yeah. I mean, our family business failed dramatically. We went from a company that's 120 plus employees to failing. The family dispersed and drugs, alcohol, like just horrible things going on, and the company was done, and I imploded. So like I got that opportunity to fail, and then I was just like, now, I mean, you want to take on a freaking bark trimming business, like of the trees in Penn. Let's go. Like what do we got to do to have a bark trimming business? You know what I
I know,
mean?
man. I've known you for like what, maybe a year and a half, and you went from like I'm a preacher to a construction company to a food truck
That's
to
it.
a farm to
That's
like podcasting. I'm like, does this guy know what the fuck he's doing? You know,
No.
and then it's like, no,
No.
he has no idea. But I'll tell you one thing, you know how to fucking live, man. You know,
That's it.
and that's the thing. It's like, you know what, I'm gonna do this. Well, why not?
So-
why not?
Hey everyone, it's Angelina, Media Director right here at FXV Digital Design. As you know, Whitley, Freddie, and I have a weekly podcast on Tuesdays, Fred Talks, where we talk to local business owners and also each other in order to help take your business to the next level. As we continue to improve our content for the Reading area, we want you to be a part of it. We're currently seeking sponsors in the Reading area for ad reads, which will be 30 seconds of promotion solely for your business. Ad read slots are $20 each, and they're highlighting your business and what you can do and offer for our community. Here's the catch. We are keeping none of the money that we are making off these ad reads. This money is going straight into Reading's local charities, businesses, families in need, and local food banks. During this holiday season, it's important to remember how grateful you are for what you have and to give back to those in need. Now through December 11th of 2020, all proceeds will assist FXV Digital Design to provide Christmas gifts to foster children in the area. If you're interested in purchasing an ad slot for one of our upcoming Fred Talks, shoot us a call or a message. Thanks guys, and let's create something awesome today.
What everybody wants out of life, usually the first thing, most people, is like happiness. They want peace and joy. Well, dude, like, my brain is so wired to go, like, that's joy for me. And then to add serving people every day, whether it's serving people on a food truck, whether it's serving people in construction or in the mission, life is just way different when I'm full-time mission and ministry. That's just me. And it took me, you know, you asked me, there was a question on here. What was one of the questions about like if I knew what I yeah
Like if you like would have known
yeah
something that you would like wish you would have known before.
yeah if I would have caught on to the fact that the more I give, the more healthy I am in my head and my heart. Like the more I give, the more I receive, and that's what's happening with you. Like no matter what you believe, whether you believe in God, the universe, like it all really is about serving others. And when you do that, somehow, some way, it always comes back.
It's law of attraction, baby.
Yeah, it all comes back. And I wish I would have learned that. I wish somebody would have taught me that really, really, really early. That I would have like been able to learn that giving like is something that you can do all the time. And that's what I did with my life. I figured out how to set something up that every day I give up myself. And man, it's life changing. For me, it's completely life
It's
changing.
a great
Awesome.
feeling.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say it. It makes me feel good. It makes me feel good to give back,
Yeah.
and it is fulfilling.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's why I work so hard in my business, because by fueling my business, it allows me to fuel my community help.
Yeah.
You know, because by doing my brand and branding every freaking day and doing what I need to do, I build up like, let's just say coins. Like we were playing Mario Party the other day, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're building up coins. And then when it comes time for me
What
to
were you
like
playing?
Mario Party on the Switch,
Mario.
right? Mario.
I don't know why he says it like that.
I don't know why he says
The New
it.
York
I say
thing.
the same
Oh,
thing.
okay, I'm from New York.
Yeah.
So like I feel like when I'm doing the business and I'm networking and branding and all that stuff, I'm building up all these coins, because then I take them all when come Christmas time, let's say. And I'm like, all right, man, I got the angel trees happening. Who's helping me get to this point? I want you, and I don't want to see one ornament. I need to see 3 ornaments in your hand. You know, and they go, okay. Like, you know, it's not because I'm not doing it to be a dick. It's just like, and now I'm starting using those coins. You know, and I feel like I save them all up for, you know, the angel tree drive, or when I do the blood drives, or when I help out the veterans, or whenever I need to do things in the community. But yeah, building up the business to that point and the branding and stuff helps me fuel the giving. And man, the giving is the best part of life.
That's it.
The giving is the best part of life. I try to give as much as I can. And let me tell you something, man. Earlier when you were like, people don't know poor.
No.
You know, kids are the worst kind of that.
Yeah.
And I read these lists, let me tell you something, everybody out there. You have no idea how fortunate you are to even be watching this on a phone, listening to this on an audio device. There are children out there that are asking for a t-shirt, undershirts, for toiletry bags, for backpacks. And the reason why they want backpacks is because they want to have somewhere to put their stuff when they get moved to a new foster place. You know, they want deodorant. It's insane what these kids want. So when you're sitting there complaining about, I don't have this, that, and the other, there's a kid out there that just wants some deodorant.
Yeah, dude. And I don't think we teach that enough. Like, I didn't know that. Dude, I grew up like half a mile away in Wyomissing here, right across from the Wyomissing restaurant. Like, I had no idea that there were people out there that weren't nearly as fortunate as I was. Like, I find out all these crazy things. Like, you know, if you have a vehicle, you're like in the 7% richest people on earth.
Right.
What? Like, how many million people? We talk about deodorant. Let's talk about water. Like clean water. I'm not even food, but I'm talking like how many kids die of not. So like for me, like same thing. Like my wife gets, but people are like, dude, like how do you get up at the time you get up, and then you stay up, and we have groups at night until 9, 10 o'clock, and I'm like, man, like I only got one bat. Like there's only one at bat. Like what am I gonna do with it? And somehow that stays in my head. Like somehow being thankful that I'm here. And the chances I've been given, because I've been down, I've been homeless. I've been that guy that's using everybody and destroying everything. And, I've had health problems that have scared the shit out of me that I thought I was dying. So like now I'm like, well, man, like you gotta get out of the way because I gotta roll. Like I gotta go for it. It's so fast. Like you remember when she was in your arms, right? Like it's crazy.
I tell everybody that the last thought I'll ever have when I'm dying in my bed is when she used to wake up in the morning. Now she'll turn around and she used to look at me with her curly head and she would smile. Guarantee when I'm on my deathbed, it's the last thing I'll be thinking about. But and now she's freaking.
I know.
Almost 20 years old.
That's right. Good job,
When she's almost 20 years old, I'm like, holy fuck.
That's so cute.
I'm usually the one crying. I'm so glad that she's crying. Wait, I need to get we need to get the camera on her. Right? This is the good right. Get the TikTok camera on her right now. That's it, man.
Yeah, but that's how quick life. It sounds so cliche, ladies and gentlemen. Let me tell you, people say, oh, it happens to snap a finger. Dude, my kid's almost 20.
Yeah.
And when I had her, I was like, whoa, I'm a dad, and I was 22.
Yeah, and the scary part is that like there's so many people that don't recognize how fast it happens. Like it's just so unbelievably fast that, man, I don't know how to handle it at times.
Yeah, I think it's just like, even for me, I'm just turned 29, and I look back, like I was talking to Josiah, and I was like, you're literally 10 years younger than me. And I look at you, and I think you're like me, like we're the same age, like when I look at you. Until I was around my siblings, or thanks for Thanksgiving, and like my sister, she's like 12 years younger than me, and I'm like, where did time go? I just graduated college, but it was almost 10 years ago I graduated college.
Yeah.
Don't get me started.
Or high school, and I'm like, holy cow.
And what everybody has to ask themselves, especially the TikTokers, are what are you doing with it every day? Like that's for me, and for me, the guys hear it all the time. That's great, you have this time to work, but what are you doing with every fucking minute? Like every minute, what are you doing about it?
Right.
Because it's so easy to just sit back and get complacent and be like, all right, time to chill. And I try those things. And that's where I think the DNA things. I try to sit down and chill, and I'm like, all right, I gotta go.
I think Sunday I chilled, and it felt weird. But I had to, man. My body was burnt.
Oh, you do have to.
Now, when you get burnt out, don't get me wrong, you need to stop and rejuvenate your body. But it's hard, because I was like, you know what, I'm taking 4 days off. And Thursday was like, okay, family. We had Thanksgiving. Friday, I was like, what are you doing Friday? And then what are we doing Saturday? Yeah. And then what do we do on Sunday? By Sunday night, I was like, I think I took like 3 naps. She was like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm freaking relaxing, man. Like I need to relax. It's hard.
You're right, you do. And I think that's my biggest, I know that's my biggest issue. Like I can.
Well, you do like 40 things.
Yeah.
Because that's why I was busting your balls. I was like,
you need
yo,
another
man.
you.
Yeah.
If you had another you.
You
then
Yeah.
two
Yeah.
more.
And we're growing those.
Yeah. I think it's like good to like just to realize for like the people out there, especially young entrepreneurs, is like understanding the intentionality. That's what like what are you doing with every day, but like how are you being intentional with your days so that they do seem long and fulfilled and just filled in general, so you don't look back and see a blur. I think that's the big thing, and I think that's what you're like really helping the guys at the program understand is like every day being intentional with every minute. Their whole day is planned out.
But it's such a process.
Yeah.
Like here we're going to talk about the middle again. Like so many people, you watch those Tony Robbins and these 10X conferences. I want to teach you how to be. Where you headed?
I gotta use the
All right.
I've never done this, but like I should know my I should know better.
He's rolling.
Like
That's
don't
all right.
have like.
But you have like these conferences where you just come and you learn how to be a millionaire. Like I'm gonna teach you. Let's get you X amount of money more. And I'm like, man, like really? And these people are paying like 10, 15 grand for 3 days to go watch somebody on stage. Like, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like, for me, the answer isn't how much, like, money is happiness, right? Like, happiness is this great thing. I told the guys, like, because I had the opportunity to have some money in my life at times, like, I'd have a different car, like, every 3 months. Like, people that really know me know, like, I've had, like, 50 cars. And I don't think that's an exaggeration. That was happiness to me. That has nothing to do with joy.
Right.
Like, happiness is all this exterior bullshit that, the new car, the new shirt, the new hair, the new colored beard, by the way. I colored my beard because there was 7 different colors. And, but joy is what I get from fulfillment. Like, joy is something that no matter what happens with my money, with my car, with anything, it's still there. And I want to have something that nobody can strip from me, no matter what I take, what they take. It's not volatile. Like it's not fleeting. And that's what these people need to understand. And it takes like going through some shit to understand that joy is the answer, not happiness.
Right.
And that's really tough for people.
When I was in school, we learned what like the meaning. People want a meaningful life, and what does that even look like, especially like in the business world and all that. And I think that they talked about, even like you said, like okay, so you're in your early 20s, you don't even know what you like, like you get into kids get into these relationships, or you get into a field that you don't even know if you like it, just because it makes good money or whatever, like I did, stuff. But I think it's just that I like really wish that our society was more focused on trying to teach people to get to know themselves. We get so distracted in our relationships that we're worried about too much about understanding someone else rather than ourselves, and then we wonder why we have all these issues. We go into fields that we don't even know much about, or we just think we might like it, and then we wonder why we're not happy because you're not being quiet enough to be like, actually, I don't really like this field.
So how will you? But here's a middle question again. What is the work in figuring out really who you are? What does that look like? Because so many people, you said it, like they're worried about getting in a relationship to feel good now. Like this person, if I just have this, I'll feel good now. If I just have the way to learn about yourself is through pain. Like that's the answer. And we have parents, we have friends, we have the state. We have all these funds that don't allow us to feel pain enough to figure out, shit, I can't keep building Planet Fitnesses and making money and learn who I am, because that just masks everything. That masks all my stuff that I need to get to realize who I really am. So once all that stuff was out of the way and I got to go through some pain and make some big mistakes, then I'm like, oh, well see, this doesn't work for me. This does. And that's all really what life is for me, is like getting these guys to unlearn the old behaviors, relearn new ones, and then practice it and be on your way. But that takes, like, people don't understand the amount of time it takes to grow. And I think that's one of the big things that I wanted to talk to you about is like, people think like you can go to all these classes to be successful, and you can go take this seminar, you can go to this 10X conference, and you can go do all this and learn all this stuff, this knowledge, right? But if you don't really look within at who you are and who you want to be, and like talk to yourself in the mirror about like the truth, like all the shit that you're really screwed up with and how you're gonna fix it. All those conferences mean nothing because you're always gonna screw it up. You know those people that have all the knowledge in the world, but they can't apply the knowledge. Like they're Google, but you ask them something, there's no application to anything. And I think that's because people don't realize that it's the inner person that's going to make you, like success happens as a person first, and then all the shit happens in the middle, like the money, the family, the house, the car, all that. But the success has to happen first. And you being successful is figuring out who you are and like saying, all right, I'm screwed up here. I have to be humble enough to grow now and change. And then all of a sudden shit starts to happen, like one foot in front of the other. How was your piss time? Were you good?
I feel great now.
All right, good.
You know what it is? That's what happens when you try to get healthy. You drink a lot of water.
Yeah.
And I was like, why did you have a whole glass of water?
You know, if that was
before I
vodka,
started
you
the
wouldn't
podcast?
have to go to the bathroom.
I just want to know, how the hell do people do like 3-hour podcasts and not take a piss?
It's called editing.
It's called editing.
Because I'm like, how do these guys do this shit for so long? Which is true, because if you weren't live, I'd be like, piss break, and then I would be like, you cut it, you'd never know.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So while we wrap up real quick, I wanted to ask you a question about, we know that, like, I guess, like, giving is what, you kind of answered it, I guess. I was going to ask, like, what is something that fuels your passion into what you've created, like, this organization? And you said, like, mainly it's, like, the giving aspect and having purpose and fulfillment and, like, in that. So what is something that you're looking forward to in the next couple of years with Solar? What do you see as, like, the big vision for what it, you know, now that you have an idea of a glimpse of what it could be and what it is turning into?
So were there two questions there? What fuels it?
Well, you already said it, so I
Okay.
kind of just like
All right. So for me, it's just figuring out different. So not everybody wants to be in construction. Fred, you don't want to build things, do you? No. So like it's figuring out that that this group of guys that we help, they fit in the construction area and they're going to learn a trade and they're going to go be able to get a job and be confident and be a changed person and move on with their life and be awesome. It's growing those social enterprises like the food part, you know, teaching the restaurant or food truck world, learning how to cook, and the growth happening around one central facility to help. Like I want to help more guys in county jail. Like that's it for me. Like if you know anything about county jail, that's where I want to focus my efforts in county jail and like the guys that are in prison doing state time for 2 to 5 years. You know what I mean? And that are going to have absolutely no chance to change by being in jail or in prison. So that's where our growth really is for me, and having one central location where I can have, you know, a lot more guys to help. Just reaching more people, and then the vision is the guys that are here now, the 15 guys here now, how awesome would it be for them to be employees and making their living doing what we're doing, and it just keeps snowballing and we have this giant community of people that actually want to change and spread a mission of whatever it takes to change. I took from my own kids, you know, I took from my family. I robbed them all of their peace and their time, and so like to look back and help other guys not do what I did to my children and my family, and start to give way more than they take, that's the vision, where that vision grows to a bigger number, and it's just like this huge outreach of giving and allowing more opportunity to figure it out.
That's awesome.
So I got a TikTok question for you.
Okay.
Or it could be for everybody, honestly. It says, what pisses you off, what breaks your heart, and what problems are you trying to solve?
What pisses me off?
Yeah.
Gosh.
Slackers.
Millennials. Yeah. What pisses me off is usually myself. I'm passionate towards other people, but the only person that I really get pissed at anymore is me. I won't allow myself to get pissed. Like people think I'm pissed, but usually with me, like if I'm pissed at another person, I'm shaking and I'm gonna grab you. But I'm usually pissed at myself for just for not being who I know I'm capable of being, because I fall short too. I get pissed at myself for a lot of little things, but the truth is, just because I've done this work to change, I still fall short. So, like, but when you say slacker, like I view myself as a slacker, so I get really pissed at myself for like just man not continually to push through certain things.
I think I'm like that. I get mad at myself for how lazy I can be.
Yep.
And then like over time, at least in this season of my life, like I used to get really pissed at just my personality and like how like schemy I was.
Yeah.
You know, like I just would lie and scheme all the time, like growing up, and then like it carried into my careers, and just it took a bad toll. Like I obviously like lost jobs because of it. So then this season I like really tried to have like integrity and transparency and all that kind of stuff, and holding myself to a different standard. And I think that it's like really helping me grow a lot. But yeah, I still get annoyed. Like I kind of took that 4-day break too. So I was like, oh, I'm just gonna like relax this week, and then I'll go to the grind. And then I was just like, wow, this weekend was really long. I was like, literally did nothing except for watch Vampire Diaries. So
Fake pisses me off. Fake bullshitters.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, that pisses me off. You know why? Because that was me. Like all the things that I was, like hypocritical and liar. Like I'll call out a liar if I don't even know him. But I was the biggest liar in this room, like before I did. You know what I'm saying? So all the things that I was pisses me off.
It's an interesting way to put it.
what about you, Brian? What pisses you off?
Jeez. I mean, like
Millennials, you said.
No, personally, I guess it's just I hate that it took me so long to realize how to run my business correctly.
Yeah.
I mean, that's, but again, failure, figuring things out and all that good stuff, that, kind of pisses me off. But I think lack of work ethic amongst people is something that I just will not tolerate. I won't do it. I think if you want to be successful and you want to talk the talk, well, you need to walk the walk. And I think a lot of people don't walk the walk. I think a lot of them try to find the easy way of everything.
Yeah.
You need to really just, grind it out big time. I mean, even a lot of times with clients too, you tell them like, listen, you want to be on the first page of Google, which is like the #1 request. It's like, okay, well, it's going to take you 12 to 18 months of doing all the things I'm telling you to do, and you have to stick to the plan. Well, they don't.
What?
Right. It's like, are you kidding me? Like, are you crazy? It's like, no. So that's the other thing too. It happens. It's not just young people. It's definitely older people. It's people that don't understand how things happen. There's no patience. There's no they just don't want to do the time to get the stuff done the right way. And I wish people would just listen to me. It's like I didn't start this company, and I don't do all these things because I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
Right.
So that kind of stuff really just grinds my gears a lot.
Does pineapple on pizza piss you off?
Yes.
Yes.
Bro,
no
pizza
place.
It's freaking sauce and cheese.
Do not
Want to throw
need fruit.
some meat on there? Okay.
Do not need fruit.
There's no
Thank
place
you.
for fruit.
I hope my
on
wife's
pizza.
listening to this. Ham and pineapple. I'm like, what the?
Sugar and
Disgusting.
sweet, weird.
I'm just gonna
Ham's
throw it out there. Tomato is a fruit.
It is
Just
an
gonna put that out
alkalizing
there.
fruit.
But it's allowed.
It
Mix some
is.
sauce. I'm not putting slices of tomato on the pizza.
That's no justice for a pineapple though.
No, not at all. What the hell's wrong with you?
All right.
What is the last 2 things she said?
It was what breaks your heart and what problems are you trying to solve, like in business and like things you see in the world.
Breaks your heart and what you're trying to what?
What problem you're trying to solve.
Problem and breaks your heart. It breaks my heart that
The coffee machine is down.
yes. And there's no coffee. I think it is like what you said earlier with like just like the parental stuff, like just the amount of kids that have like no respect for people themselves. They don't even understand sometimes what that even means. Like I remember coming down to the lower 48 when I moved here from Alaska, and like I was in like 7th grade, and where I was from and where I grew up and whatever, like everyone called their teacher with their last names. Here, I come here and like Bethlehem area for the first time, and I hear Miss and Mister, and that's it. I was like, what? Who are you guys calling? They're like, Miss, Mister, come here, I have a question. I'm like, what? They have a whole last name, but for me, that was just an idea of respect. Like you were respecting your teacher, and the fact that then because I was in an inner city school, I saw kids just blasting teachers. like vocally in church in their classes, and I was like, what the heck? You're cursing at a teacher? So I think like that's probably one thing that like breaks my heart for like the generation is this like the lack of respect for each other, and then something. What was the other thing? I keep forgetting.
Problem you're trying to solve, like within your business or just in general?
I'm just trying to solve what my next steps are for my photography. Trying to figure out like what I want to do, what do I want to achieve next year, at the rate that I want to achieve it, that kind of stuff. That's all I'm doing.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh man, there's a lot of heartbreaking things out there, but like for me, that what I see is when people give up on themselves. That's what breaks my heart most. Like I 40 to 50% of the people that come in our program leave in the first month, and you can see like this little glimmer of hope, after they start to physically get okay, and they give up. They just completely give up on themselves. And again, most of the things that I did really well are what stand out to me most. Like I gave up on me and everything else around me. So like when a man, like the man of the house, gives up, it just permeates through the entire family. That's not what a man's supposed to do. I don't think this generation or understands what a man really is, because everybody's
Preach it.
thing. Anyway,
That's a good podcast.
yeah, but so like when the man of the house or the man in the family just gives up, like it just crushes everybody, and that breaks my heart. Problem I'm trying to solve is what I do every day. Stop thinking about this as a substance problem and start thinking about this as a societal problem and a problem within. Like we got to look at us, not keep pointing the finger at opioids and heroin and meth, and that has nothing to do with it. Like the problem I'm trying to solve is to get everybody to look within and just agree to change. Say I don't know and change. And that's everywhere.
It's a good one, man. I mean, I guess the thing that pissed me off, Jesus, the list is endless. I mean, it really is. But I think what recently the thing that pisses me off, I think, is the amount of hypocrisy that happens right now in this country. The hypocrisy is just insane. How one day you're just like doing this, and the next thing you're like, oh, let's unify the nation. I'm like, you're right, fucking mind. It's just hypocrisy at its finest, and I'll leave it at that.
But what breaks your heart?
What breaks my heart? Oh, Jesus. It's that I can't do enough.
Yeah.
I can't do enough, man. I try to do as much as I can, and even then I fall short in my mind. You're just like, oh, why can't I just give to that dude? What can I just do for that dude?
Yeah.
Why did I miss this guy or this girl or whatever the case is? I wish there was more time for me to do more for other people.
Yeah.
But you have to find the balance, because when you do the business, it helps you do for the people.
That's it.
So like, yeah, that's the kind of stuff that breaks my heart. It's like, so. How about you, Ange?
It's all just self-development stuff, honestly, for me. Like, right now, I just accidentally unplugged the soundboard, so I don't have any of the audio. But like,
His face.
Oh, this is awesome. So nobody's hearing you right now?
No, I have the camera audio.
Okay.
So.
All
Alright, good.
So these
That's
don't matter. Hello.
I mean, yeah, no, not really. Not
Yes.
They're for show.
These are-
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you 2 of these then, because these don't.
We're still learning.
That's good. Oh, this happened in mine last week, where there was all these problems and the camera was all over the place. I was dying laughing
If
the whole
there's
time.
not
And
at
everybody's
least-
like, oh!
Yeah, if there's not at least one problem, I don't know, I'm not learning then. So.
Who cares? If anybody, especially TikTok, if they have any problems with it, they can.
Yeah.
they can call
No,
a friend.
actually, TikTok is, this one guy's blowing up the feed, so
Cool.
that was cool.
That's
All
good,
right.
man.
So.
Yeah.
Oh, yo, man, thanks for coming on, bro.
Yeah,
Just
thank you so much.
Some more.
Let us. Yeah, I mean, we're gonna figure it out. We gotta get the downstairs hooked up. That'll be great, because then we could do it like on the regular, and like
Yeah.
everything will be like settled,
Yeah.
and there's no like,
Set it up,
issues.
set it down.
yeah.
Yeah,
You
this
know.
is tough.
Yeah.
But thanks for coming down, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for sharing everything. I love you. You know what I mean?
Love you too,
So,
brother.
man, it's all good. So thank you guys for
Thanks,
coming in and hanging out with us at Fred Talk.
Thank
Come
you
back
guys
next
so
week.
much.